Ooh,
A
okay.
coworker actually told me about keeper leagues, and then after
Oh, yeah.
that, I just went down the rabbit hole and found Dynasty.
I know I started doing Dynasty probably about 4 years ago, but really over the last couple years got kind of maybe a little too aggressive about it. But um,
Hey, it's
um,
fun
it's a ton of fun actually. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do something with my
because like prior to even getting into all this, I used to just like watching and like predicting the rookies, and then I would just watch it
yeah.
for fun, and just like, oh, I think it's gonna be this guy. I remember Ev two five
Yep,
three.
yep.
I remember he probably would be like, he didn't get want me sharing this, but I remember he was all over Johnny Manziel when
Oh
he was
yeah.
at Texas. He was like Johnny Manziel next Russell Wilson, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, but yeah, we should just love doing that stuff. So now that we actually can put our money like on the drafts, it's fun.
Yeah.
Makes it more entertaining.
I know I watch a lot of college football. I grew up in Texas basically in my high school years, so I watched a lot of college and high school ball back then and just got addicted to it. So, because it's a lot of fun. But that was the worst thing about redrafts, right? I draft this like great rookie and then next year he's gone. I was like, and he gets
Exactly.
drafted in the first round. It's like, damn it. Um, but
A
yeah,
little.
it's Dynasty is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think redraft is just more casual once you learn about Dynasty. It's just like, yeah, it's still
Yeah.
fun, but Dynasty is really
Yeah.
where the
Yeah.
nerds can have fun.
Yeah, that's right. I
But
only have one redraft league left, and that's my family league that I run. So
yeah,
that'll be
I
that.
got one
But
with some of the guys. I just in one redraft too with some of the guys, Tino and Alex. Alex, the guy who won, we're in his
oh yeah,
family league. Evan, that's the only redraft I'm in. But let's
yeah,
see.
yeah.
So we want to talk about 101 and Luther Burden, right?
So let's yeah. I was thinking we could quickly chat about 101, and then maybe the Bears and Titans receiving options because
Mhm.
there's been a lot of debate. I feel like in different leagues that I'm in with both of those ones.
The Titans and who?
The Bears, yeah, Burden and Rome.
Okay, okay, yeah, the Bears. All right, let's start there,
Yeah,
honestly, because I've gotten a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of
You
talk
got you
about.
got sounds like you got hot topics happening right now.
Yeah, because well, we know that I bought him off you in the back order league because I that
Oh
was
yeah.
just more skepticalism. I just need a high end receiver off my bench because my receivers are not that good in that league, other than my top three. So I was just going after him, but after then, he kind of Rome got hurt. DJ's just been falling off a cliff. It seems like no one even wants him. So Luther Burden is looking like I don't know. Everyone is just like it seems like people are high on him, but they're not willing to pay the price yet. So it's kind of like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like I'm willing to sell him, but it has to be for like I personally think he's a wide receiver two. I don't think he's a wide receiver one. I think
Yeah.
Rome is still the better football talent, but I do see a world where Burden is the fantasy like he could be Caleb's Williams go-to option because
Yeah.
Caleb's to me Caleb isn't like a Burrow or a just I don't want to say Justin Herbert. I'll say just like a Burrow where the ball placement is so elite. And Roma Dunze is kind of
Yeah.
like that guy to me where he relies more on ball placement and just good like reading the defense and making that right read, whereas Luther Burden's in a create separation. And to me, I think
Base.
Caleb's is more of that scramble guy and can find Luther Burden late. And I think Luther Burden might excel in that role. So I don't think he's quite as high as people saying he can be wide receiver. Like I saw a podcast on YouTube where someone said he would take Garrett Wilson over Luther Burden right now.
He would take Garrett Wilson over Luther Burden,
Yeah,
or
that's
the
how
other way
high some
around.
people are on him. No, they're saying they would take Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm sorry. My bad, the other way around. I'm confused. They would say they'll
Other way
take
around,
Luther.
right? Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say I would take Garrett Wilson as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So if someone offered me Garrett Wilson for Luther Bird, I'm accepting that right away. But more
Take
so
it
the
in a
offer
second.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
so of the offers I'm getting though is like Luther Burden and a throw in as a downgrade from Ngbuka or something. And which is I think is that
Okay.
but he like but they also want like a high pick in as well. So they kind of just see him as like a tier down option.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas like and then, the high potential. But what are your thoughts on Burden?
Yeah, I've actually been a big Rome fan for a while. I think we talked about him last year at different times as well. And so I think he is the receiver one. My problem actually isn't so much the receivers and the tight end. It's I just don't know what the fuck Caleb Williams gonna do sometimes. Like, it feels like one game Rome was like the full target. He got like 15 targets, and then the next game he gets one. And DJ Moore gets a couple of touchdowns late in the season. I just don't even know. You kind of mentioned like that sporadic play that he has. It's hard to trust anyone on that team. Loveland wasn't even part of the situation until kind of towards the end of the season, and all of a sudden he's racking up points all over the place.
Yeah,
And I don't have him in any league, and I wish I did because people are paying through the nose for that guy.
yeah, they're talking
But
about him.
yeah, yeah, I have Burden in a couple of leagues, but I'm at the point actually right now is I'm selling a little bit high because people are trying to come after him and offering decent things. If someone offered me a Garrett Wilson for him straight up, I would take it in a second. But I'm kind of getting like a Garrett Wilson type of quality, and then maybe like a second round pick or a one of the rookies like Marks or something like that from this year, running back and a pick, those
Yeah,
kinds of deals.
I would take those in a heartbeat too because I do think he's. I mean, I would like because I got him in two leagues for him to be a breakout, but I think he's a wide receiver too, kind of talent, especially with
Yeah,
that offense just having so much talent in it, and then also prioritizing a two
yeah,
running back
yeah.
backfield is like I don't know how many fantasy points can go around, and then Caleb's
No,
can run
definitely.
like so yeah, but it is a good offense to have some pieces in because they look like they're gonna be good for
Yeah.
some time now with Ben and Caleb.
Yeah, best ball offense. I feel like that would be a great to have kind of the Bears guys in a best ball league.
Yeah, our best ball league is so tough. I dropped Burden for nothing. Now
I know. I've dropped some players over the last year and a half, and wish I could have it back.
that league is tough to hold on. But what are your thoughts on Jeremiah
Yeah.
Love? Because I want to hear your thoughts first. Because I've kind of my thoughts changed within the last week or couple of days, honestly. Because I've did some
Mm,
bigger. I've done more research on the running backs and just like I honestly went back because, like I said, I'm kind of new into Dynasty. So I went back
yeah.
into like 2012, just in the first round running backs who have taken and like how many have been bust and what the bust profiles have looked like versus Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
So I'm right now, my opinion did change, but I want to hear yours first on Love.
I if he wasn't the only real running back in this draft, I wonder whether he would get as much praise or interest as he is. But I think kind of we always talk about like landing spots. If he lands in KC, I like it for him, but they're also not really a running team. They never really. Everything is Mahomes, so that kind of scares me. Plus, they've got that rookie from this year, Smith, and then the other guys they'll probably mix in here and there. But I think one of the tape that I've seen as well, like he's good. He's a very good, quick back. There's comparisons to like Gibbs and Bijan and guys like that. I don't think he's that level though. I think he's like that kind of right below. Um, I think he's a similar talent wise as far as like Genty. I don't think Genty was a Gibbs Bijan guy, but you've got them at like a 10, and you've got like an 8.5 9 is where I would probably slot in Love, but it depends on where he goes, right? I think KC he could still be that 1,000 yard rusher and all those kinds of things, but I don't think he's going to be like a Gibbs type of quality. But I will be the first to admit I traded just the other day. I traded Scat and Waddle for 101 straight up. I was pretty happy with that because I'm not a fan of Scat, but just because I think he's going to get injured every year. But yeah, that's I think he's a very high value, but I think also in a soft draft, that's why so many people are putting him on a much higher pedestal than maybe he would be of say last year. That's an example.
Yeah, I could.
That's my thoughts.
I definitely would have took that deal with Waddle and Scat for 101 in a
Yeah,
heartbeat. I
yeah,
would have just because as well. Love, I do agree. The class being weaker and making him a lockout 101. It well for most
mm,
people, I would say is because of the weak class. Like if there was a neighbors or even a high
mm,
end quarterback in a super flex league, I think there would be discussion
yeah,
to be like more of a
definitely.
103 type or 104 type block versus just blocked in 101. So I don't think he's quite
Yeah,
like Bijan, like you said. I don't think he's
yeah,
I think his realm of possibilities depending on landing spot, he could land a little bit below maybe a I don't think he's doing Gibbs production. I don't think he's I don't know. Gibbs is really good. Like I was looking
yeah,
at I don't know. Gibbs is like in terms of dual threat, he's really good. I think he's probably a little bit below Gibbs, above Hall. But I
yeah,
could see his
yeah.
career being just like Brees Hall's if he got put in the same situation as Brees. Like I think Brees Hall is just as good as Jeremiah Love. Almost.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
not quite
yeah,
closely.
yeah,
But if Brees Hall was on the Chiefs, I would say he's like would put up similar production as Love on the Chiefs.
yeah,
And I don't
yeah. I think
love
that's a good comp, actually. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I think he's probably a little bit more explosive than Brees Hall. Probably a little bit better in between the
yeah,
tackles. But in terms of receiving, I'll say they're kind of similar. And I'd say in
yeah,
terms of tier, like he's probably a little bit above Hall, in my opinion. And I'll say he's
yeah,
below Gibbs. And I'll say like around like you said, around John T and above maybe above Bucky and some
yeah,
other guys, like maybe like around Hampton. Like I could see him and Hampton being similar uh
yeah,
level.
yeah,
Um the thing is though, I think Love could do better. Like you said, I don't like him on the Chiefs because of that's Mahomes teams. They're never gonna go like the Lions do where they give the running game the full keys if they can and just have Jared
yeah,
Goff
yeah,
throw.
yeah,
So Love doesn't have that type of ceiling if he goes to the Chiefs. That's where I'm honestly the spot I like the least in the top spots. I think he can go. I think the lowest he goes is 18. I think that's like very low,
mm,
and that's the Vikings. And if he goes there, I'd be
yeah,
pretty happy. That'd probably be my favorite landing spot because of
yeah.
JJ
Vikings,
McCarthy.
great.
Yeah, because I think they're getting. I think Kevin O'Connell wants to lean on that run game or get a new quarterback. He has to do one of the two. Like I don't see how you.
Yeah,
He wants to give Jefferson like if he had a Drake May or a Pat Mahomes, he would definitely be looking to feed Jefferson, and that'd be
yeah,
the engine.
yeah,
But with JJ McCarthy, I think he just realized he has to run the ball and play action.
yeah.
Like so, I think if
Well,
Jeremiah Love was there,
that's what he was at Michigan too. So
that's what he was at Michigan. So I think if Jeremiah Love was there, that would be great. I think who's 12? Dallas. That would be great,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
Um, and then the top, I'm kind of nervous about the Commanders too, as well as the Chiefs. If those two spots
mm,
go because of Jaden's rushing upside and not
yeah,
really, yeah, like I don't really like Pete receiving backs with scrambling quarterbacks because they're not really
no,
reluctant to shut it down. They're more reluctant to run themselves.
no,
So I
yeah,
think the read option could be scary there and splitting him out wide with Jaden. I would still take him 101, obviously, with any team,
yeah, yeah.
but Commanders and Chiefs are the more nervous ones. I would rather him be a Saint or a Viking or a Cowboy, probably.
Yeah, that was one I was going to actually mention. The Saints would be a really interesting one if they just blew up that whole backfield because they've got like what Kendre Miller and Kamara obviously, and they drafted Neal last year. Just I like keep Neal, get rid of the other two, and draft Love. That
If
would be amazing.
you have any of them, I'm sorry if they draft Love.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I think Love is it's an interesting one. I think he'll be good. I if he makes it to 18 in Minnesota, that would be
Yeah,
amazing for them. I think that
that
would.
would be so crazy because everyone's saying he's top 10. Some people take him as high as the Cardinals. If he went to the Cardinals, I would be very nervous. I would
Oh
probably
yeah,
trade down
yeah,
100% if he went to the Cardinals because I wouldn't want that
yeah.
honestly.
No. Wow. Especially, I mean, we don't even know the quarterback situation there. As you probably saw this morning, I traded Kyler, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
did
think
see
he's
that.
going back to Arizona. But I'm assuming he's going to go to the Jets or the Dolphins, one of the two. But
That's
I
the
have no
Dolphins.
idea.
What about
Yeah.
Steelers?
I was thinking that he just doesn't feel like a Steeler, right? I just don't feel like they'd bring in somebody like that for whatever reason. Not sure. And also, I think he would really thrive more so. Like, I really think Murray would do well at the Dolphins. Warm weather, the ground's not hard. He can kind of, run around and do all of his stupid things that he does, which is why Arizona was always a good one for him. But he's obviously a bit of a head case. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Kyler is very interesting. I think it was a good trade, though, for sure for you getting Amon Raw. I think it was a good trade. I won't say it is like Wolverine making it look like it was so one
Yeah.
sided. He always does this whenever you do a
Every trade
trade.
I do, he
Yeah.
says that. But
I do like your side of the trade, but I see Juper's, I see his reasoning
Hmm.
behind it. Like if Franklin hits, which I was very low on Franklin when you offered me him, but I'm kind of growing on him in terms of if he got off the Broncos. If he
Yeah,
leaves the Broncos, if Kyler Murray, is somewhat decent and he hits on the 112, which is going to be hard because, well, I guess we'll see what landing
yeah,
spot on who's available there, but it's not as bad to
yeah,
try to make it look, especially if he does good. He's betting on himself. He's betting on his drafting skills and on not doing terrible
yeah,
in 2027. But if
yeah,
2027 being a good pick for you, boy, that was a good trade.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think well with Archain and JT, I mean
Yeah, he got a good team. I looked at his roster.
he's with those two guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
that's why I
quite like
don't.
Franklin, but
Yeah, me too. That's why I like Franklin. I just don't like the Broncos. I don't like Sean Payton and his the way he uses like having Evan Ingram and
yeah,
RJ Harvey all season just made me hate the Broncos. Especially Evan Ingram. I was so high on him being a joker.
yeah.
Oh man, that one killed me.
I was expecting more out of Ingram actually this year.
You need to.
But
Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
expect him to be that good that long, but just one season last year, I expected like something
yeah,
good. Man.
yeah. No, it's an interesting. I thought it was a decent trade. I definitely understood his reasoning. I mean, the reason he lost last year is he didn't have a quarterback. So he's trying to get a quarterback, and no one's giving one up. So, but we'll see. I obviously am just trying to collect all my Infinity Stones in every league I'm in. So I'm doing the best I can on
Oh,
that.
you are a really good trader. I'll give you that for sure. I learned a thing or two from
Yeah, good. I'm all about passing on the knowledge. Um, All right. Well, the only I was ask you. I mean, you mentioned you've got Cam in revival, but the
Yeah.
Titans are such an interesting team to me. So because there was another team, I'm thinking there must be going out and getting a running back as well, right? You'd think they'd grab someone, um, but I don't know where they would do that. But the guys that are like I really like DK and AO had some flashes here and there. I'm a Longhorns fan, so Gunnar Helm has always been interesting to me, and if he'll actually kind of pick up some steam. But you've got Cam Ward, and similar to the Bears, I don't trust Cam Ward. Like I trust Caleb Williams more than I trust Cam Ward. But you said you had a nugget there, so I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Just personally, I would say I'm a lot higher on Cam Ward than pretty much anyone, at least that I
Okay.
know. Like even my Sam 253, he was a Titans fan. He lives here, so he reps
Oh,
the Seahawks now because we're winning, but he's a Titans fan.
yeah.
So he doesn't like Cam Ward, and I tell him, bro, you got a gem there. Don't worry, he's gonna save your franchise. I'm really high on Cam Ward. Um, I've been wrong on quarterbacks for sure. So I
Yeah,
would say
yeah.
the
I've
first
been wrong on
quarterback.
plenty.
Yeah, I've been wrong on quarterback. The reason I'm high on Cam Ward though is because one thing I really like from a quarterback is someone who can go into a trash situation and not look trash. And I know he didn't look great, but he took care of the ball. Like if we saw JJ in the
Mhm.
Titans, I think it would be like 30 picks,
Yeah.
very bad versus Cam Ward. He was able to like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
settle the waters and just keep the Titans. They weren't good, but he wasn't looking terrible, even with the weapons and and all the turmoil that team was going through. And then towards the end, he even looked, I would say, good or a decent. He
Yeah, I
played
was
really
gonna yeah.
good for- against Seattle. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see that dog in him, like where he's gonna
Mm.
figure out ways to win football games if they can put a team around him, and that's the biggest question.
Yeah.
That's if they're gonna put a team around him because I don't think he's good enough to like I was saying. That's what I like
Yeah.
Salah for because I think he's like a bona
Oh, yeah.
fide like a better version or could be a better version of Jared Goff. I don't think he's
Yeah.
like or I said Justin Herbert to you. I think he could be like a Justin Herbert level, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
quarter. I don't think he's going to be crazy like Josh Allen or nothing, but I do think if
Mhm.
Salah can build that defense, which I think he will, because I think he's a great defensive coach. Like as watching games of us go
Yeah.
against him, I just like the way he coaches defense. Like D'Amico, I think they're going to have some battles. Um,
Yeah.
and then offensively, I agree. I think AO got potential, but I really like DK. I think DK is
Yeah. Me
I would
too.
rather buy like DK for a little bit lower. I don't know how people value those two, but I like DK more. So I'd rather pay cheaper for DK than
Yeah.
higher than for AO. I think DK got a
Yeah.
chance to be a breakout candidate. Maybe not next year, but in the next 2 years, if the Titans can get good, I can see him being a focal point of the offense and being a maybe not
Yeah,
a
for sure.
one, but like a high end two. I think they need to
Yeah, I think
draft and get
so
someone.
too. Yeah, I think both DK at first, to start the season, I was pretty high on Ayo, and he had a couple of really good games, and then DK really towards the middle and the end of the season, and then also just watching him return kicks, he's like a dynamic player. I always think about those guys that you see them on the field receiving, and then you see them doing kick returns, and they're good. I think those guys usually end up being really quite good players.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a
but I do. Hey.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a Seahawk. Maybe that's why, but he kind of gives me Lockett vibes. I don't know, like in
Yeah, I
terms
could
of
see that. Yeah, I could see that.
rolling that
Yeah,
off being like a long term, reliable option is kind of like what I see him. And then maybe I don't
I could.
know.
Yeah,
Some
Dion
people think,
Branch, Maya.
yeah, yeah, that's a good one too. Some people think he could be the Puka of the class. I don't see that. I don't see him ever being
Yeah,
that good. Maybe I don't know. I haven't watched enough of him to be honest to say whether he could or couldn't.
yeah,
But I do like him. I would buy low on him if I could. I tried with Jimmy. He sold him to somebody else though. Jimmy's hard to
yeah.
negotiate with.
He is. He is. I know he is definitely. Yeah, I like DK a lot. But yeah, like I'm like those comparisons of Lockett and Branch, like good
Mhm.
receivers, not going to put up mammoth numbers, but they're going to be really reliable. Feels like he's going to be a reliable guy.
Yeah, definitely he
Uh,
could be a flex option when you need him, or a super flex player for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I will give you some props because Cam Ward towards the end of the season definitely got much better. It looked better. I feel like on
Yeah,
the field, his points were coming in as well on fantasy side. So I don't think Cam Ward's gonna suck, but I also I did at the start of the season, so I'm kind of working my way backwards on that.
yeah.
So that's where I'm at on that one.
I've always liked Cam Ward. I don't know why. And people like just
Yeah,
wanted him to. Thought he was maybe it's because he was on Tennessee. I feel like maybe if he went to like a good team, people would have a different opinion on him, a little bit
yeah,
at least. But I do think like the main reason he improved throughout the season is throughout the beginning he was like trying to do everything like a Herbert or a Goff, and
mm,
he was trying to like just dissect teams from the pocket like it was college, and he thought he was like he's really good to me, and so he was thinking that, and he kind of like was like I can just go in there and just do what I was doing on my whole career. But I think
yeah.
throughout the season, he realized my team is. I mean, he even said it. He's like, my team is too trash to do that, and I think he started using his legs a little bit more and extending plays,
Was
and
just gonna
not
say he was running a lot more towards the end of the season, right?
yeah. So
Yeah,
I think he was like learning. that he had to do that. And I don't know. I just think it's scary
Yeah.
when if they do put like I do think I agree they need a running back in this class. I want to take one early. If I was them, I would say more of like I'm gonna give you a sleeper I have. It's one of my favorite running backs in the class. I don't know if he's really even a sleeper anymore, but I think he doesn't even really fit them based on the running backs they have. It's Emmett Johnson. He's one of my favorite running backs in the class right
Oh yeah.
now. He,
Yeah.
I got like when we talk about sleepers, I'll tell you who I think he could be, like his ceiling. I won't even say
Yeah.
right now. I think he has Kyron Williams potential. I think he can go in the fourth or
Okay.
fifth and be really
Yeah.
good for a team if he goes to the right offense. If he goes to a team like
Yeah.
where he's not used, like Sean McVay was able to unlock Williams, then I think he could
Yep.
just be a running back who is a bust. But if he goes to a team that like the Niners or something like he like McCaffrey eventual, I don't know, some
Mm.
like not necessarily that wouldn't be the best spot because I don't know how long McCaffrey can play still, but a team like that with a coordinator like that, I think he could be really good. But a team for them, probably
Yeah.
Jonah Coleman, if they can get their hands on him, or even a Katron, they don't have to invest
Almost
that high
good.
in running back. They just need to get a big
Yeah.
body in there. And then I would
Yeah.
personally bring in a vet receiver. I don't think they need to bring in another
Yep.
young dude. I'd bring in if they can go get their hands on Addison or I don't
Yeah.
know whatever vets. Even DJ Moore would be better than what they have. So just
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Addison would be really interesting, actually. He needs to move. Him or I mean, JJ needs to move if JJ's the quarterback as well. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
That's how I am. That's what I believe too. If they're gonna rock with JJ, they gotta get rid of JJ because I don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
Addison.
yeah,
I don't think they should. I mean, or the Addison. I think they should keep JJ Justin Jefferson just because I would keep him and I would trade Addison. But
yeah,
they got to get rid of one of them and then lean more on that run game and the defense if they do that. But I think they should.
yeah,
And this is a crazy. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would love for it to happen. And if they
yeah.
got Russell Wilson on a minimum deal and he somehow won that job, I
Oh,
think his
the
deep
Vikings.
ball, yeah, I
Yeah,
think Russell
yeah,
Wilson's
yeah.
deep ball, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson could make
Well,
Justin Jefferson.
he's gonna sling it, isn't he?
Yeah, they might
Uh,
he might do some other things bad, but I think Justin Jefferson will be happy.
yeah,
He'll get some deep balls
yeah. I
on.
mean, that's
He'll get.
it was a tough season to have Jefferson this year. Honestly,
Mhm.
that was rough. That was my first round pick in my only redraft league. So that obviously you can tell sucked. So,
Out.
but
JJ, man, not Jefferson either. McCarthy.
yeah,
McCarthy.
dude, he's awful. Honestly, I think you had some hopes for him this year, coming into this year.
I'm tell you this. I'm new to like this. I drunk the cuckoo Kool-Aid on JJ McCarthy because
Yeah,
of
yeah,
being new to Dynasty and not really understanding how to adjust when to pick a player based on landing spot or hype. And I definitely
yeah,
was just on JJ McCarthy. Everyone was talking about him like he just won a natty. He has supreme
mm,
arm talent, blah blah blah. That's what the scouts are saying. And then you go to the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson. I was like, I'm all over it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
after
yeah,
looking in hindsight, though, going back and like learning from my mistakes, I would never draft him again because after like figuring like actually because I wish I did this research before I drafted him and was all over him, but if I noticed that his offense in Michigan was being carried by a like imagine like if you think about this,
yeah,
like your offense is Blake Corum and Roman Wilson, and those are the highlights of the team. Like they're not going for
yeah,
you, they're going to Blake Corum. And Blake Corum's not elite. Like he's good, but and
yeah,
then the
yeah,
defense. So if I like kind of just like was able to realize like this guy is a mediocre on a college. He was
yeah,
never elite in college, and he was a play action quarterback who barely threw the ball. I probably would have faded him into at least a late first. I think he maybe still would have at least should have went late first based on going that early in the draft, but definitely not over like I was definitely higher on him over anyone else in that draft. Like not everyone else,
yeah.
but other than like Drake, Jaden, and I was higher on Drake,
It's
Jaden,
the Caleb.
and Penix, yeah, the cream of the crop. I mean, Penix was
Yeah,
probably one that people may not have been higher on him than JJ, but I was higher
yeah,
on Penix and even Bo Nix. And I still kind of
yeah,
am high on Penix if he could stay healthy, but I think he just is. I never was super high on Penix, so for me, for him was like a high end Geno Smith. and which is
Yeah,
sucks
yeah, yeah,
now. But I'm thinking like Geno Smith in Seattle. Like I think he could have did that.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
or I guess in
Well,
Oakland when
it's always Penix's health, right? That was always the trouble, basically. But yeah, that's I avoided McCarthy everywhere. I watched a lot of Big Ten football that year, and he was trash. But you know he made big plays, and I think that's what everyone said. Right, he's a winner,
yeah.
and it's the intangibles, and I think sometimes the intangibles like get carried away, and people then start taking those and translating them to actual skill, and he doesn't have it. I don't think, and I Kevin McConnell was really interesting. Maybe he can shape him and make him better, but I just don't think he's an NFL quarterback. So I'm really hoping Minnesota brings someone in. Even if it is Russell Wilson or a vet like that, that would be really interesting to see because man, they've got weapons everywhere.
Yeah, I would love Russ Wilson wouldn't be my favorite option. I think he's my maybe more of the realistic options for them because Mac Jones is under
Yeah,
contract. But they would have to trade for him, and they don't have draft capital. They got 6 picks.
yeah,
I wouldn't take any of them if I was them. Right, and on a quarterback, especially with McCarthy. So Jameis isn't
yeah.
available. He's under contract. So it's really like Russell or Malik Willis they can go for, like or
I was gonna
Daniel
say
Jones.
Willis, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, or they could bring Daniel Jones back if the Colts say no on him because of the injury. I
yeah.
don't know, but yeah, that's
Well,
really they don't
Kyler
have.
Murray. No,
Oh man,
I don't think he's going to Minnesota.
but I do. What I would say about I do like Kyler Murray. I don't think he's bad. He's like really good at doing what he does. Like he's the best quarterback under 6 foot in the league. So he got
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Like he's really
yeah.
good at
This
scrambling
this is
and
gonna take it.
but JJ
Yeah, I mean
McCarthy,
he's. Yeah,
what I seen about JJ, he's not good. I would say that for sure. He's definitely not worthy of where he got selected. He should have went shuck
yeah,
range based on like in hindsight. Um, I still think like even his ceiling is probably to be as good as Shuck was last year. Like if he
yeah,
could do
yeah,
that, then we'd be happy with JJ. Um, but the main problem with him is I think is that he's so young and inexperienced, and he's like trying. I think it could be honestly having Justin Jefferson, because when you're
yeah,
a young quarterback, I think it could be hard to, especially when he. I think he does have an arm. Like I think he has arm talent. Like he can throw the ball far and fast, but he cannot read a defense or make
yeah,
he doesn't know where to go with the football when he just thinks I want to go to Jefferson every time or Addison or he's like locked in on who he wants to go to. Whereas if he just hit the check down and let everything open up,
yeah.
he could be a lot better. So I think over time, like JJ McCarthy has the tools to be good in the league. I just think he was nowhere near ready or like he was
No,
nowhere he couldn't live up to the projections that he was given because he's not that guy. And he was like maybe when he's
yeah.
28, like Darnold, he could become that guy.
Figure it
But
out. Yeah,
yeah, he can figure it out. But
yeah.
he got a lot of learning to do. He doesn't like I hate watch because I watched Vikings games because I had Hawkinson and JJ
Mhm,
McCarthy. So
mhm.
I'm locked in on JJ and Hawkinson. I don't care about Addison, Jefferson. They could cook
Yeah,
whoever. Like a lot of times, I do watch CB versus wide receiver matchups because those are fun to me
yeah.
too. But when I watch the Vikings, I'm locked in. I'm watching JJ McCarthy, his reads, his mechanics. And the first game I watched, I saw Kirk Cousins in him, and I was like, "Fuck." I was like, he looked like Kirk Cousins back there.
Yeah.
but but then like in
Yeah.
terms of the way
I
he
know
throws,
it's
like the way he
he's
throws,
got
like his right foot comes off the ground every single time he goes like over 10 yards. Like it's like I was like,
yeah.
oh man. But and then on top of that, Hawkinson is always open on the freaking just the immediate like the flat, and he
Yeah.
never takes it. And that's why he gets put in interception situations and gets sacked because he just doesn't know how to take the check down. And it sucked
Yeah.
for him. It
I
sucked
agree,
for
yeah.
I honestly am
Well,
still confident in Hawkinson as well if he gets off of Minnesota. If he-
yeah. Well, I like Hawk. You know I like Hawk. I've always liked Hawk.
yeah,
But yeah, the tough situation. But you know, it's like JJ had a decent offensive line. Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, who I know is older, but he can catch the ball. Mason, who's a decent, and if you can't get that to work, that's a tough one. So,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna need to go because my team's about to go on in 10 minutes, and I want to get myself prepared.
Yes, sir, man. Good
But
luck
this
to
is
y'all.
yes, good luck to you too. I would not mind a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. I've got a friend that lives down the road from me that's a Seahawks fan, so I'll make sure to give him a hard time if that happens. But good test run, and I'll shoot you a message on next for Wednesday.
All
And what
right,
we're
man.
gonna
Good
do.
chat, man.
All right, it's good to see you in person, Mark.
Yes,
Good
sir.
good good luck with your trading. All
Yeah, good luck, man.
right, bye.